Hey everyone, this is everything I plan to read in the months of July, August and September. This may be a little bit ambitious. I'm going away in September. I'm visiting my sister in the UK and I'm going to Estonia with my mother. I'm half Estonian, so I'm not sure how much reading I'll get done while I'm travelling. Let's talk about fantasy first. The first book I'll be reading is The Shadow Rising, Book 4 of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Now, I'm actually halfway through this. I've got about 300 pages to go, so this is just a continuation from last quarter. Right. The next book is Lyra's Oxford by Philip Pullman. Now, this is a very short book. This is set after his Dark Materials. I think it's set a few years after that. So this is kind of his Dark Materials book 3.5. And it's got this cool fold-out map. Always love a map. Now the next one is interesting. It is The Immortal Investigation. This is book 1 of The Immortal Investigations by Michael Cronk. Cronk is a booktuber. He has a great channel over at The Book Guy, so I'll have a link to that down below. So you should definitely check him out. And he was kind enough to send me along the first 3 books in his Immortal Investigations series, which he recently published via Kickstarter. As far as I understand it, these are urban fantasy kind of vampire type novels, but I don't think you'd put them in the category of romantasy, even though that cover kind of gives off a bit of kind of that romantasy vibe. And Michael's probably saying, what? It's not romantasy? What are you talking about? Anyway, thanks Michael for sending those through. I'm really looking forward to digging into the first one of those. Next up is Tolkien's The Lost Road and Other Writings. This is book 5 in the history of Middle-earth, edited by Christopher Tolkien, his son. And this is the last book in that series before he starts digging into the actual history of writing The Lord of the Rings. This has stuff about the fall of Numenor, but probably the most interesting thing I'm looking forward to reading in this is The Lost Road, which is apparently some sort of time travel story. Apparently Tolkien and Lewis had this plan where Lewis would go and write some sort of space-based story and Tolkien would write a time travel-based story. And obviously Lewis went on to write his space trilogy, but Tolkien only wrote like 10 or 20 pages or something. So I'm very interested to see what that is all about. I'm finally going to be digging back into the Cosmere. This is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is the next in my read-through of the Cosmere, and I'm thinking that I'll take this when I am traveling because it's fairly small but chunky. It's like 670 pages. So that should be a good one to take on a 24-hour plane ride. Ooh, I can't believe it's been a year since I read The Emperor's Soul. I'll also be continuing my read-through of How to Train Your Dragon. This is book number 6, A Hero's Guide to Deadly Dragons. And I will be continuing my read-through of Fighting Fantasy. This is book number 5, City of Thieves, although I'll probably make use of this old beat-up copy to read that one. How about some sci-fi? I am super keen to read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This has been on my TBR for too long. I loved The Martian. I even really enjoyed Artemis, even though most people don't quite like that one as much. But the trailer came out for this the other day and I did not watch it because I know there are spoilers in there, so I want to read this before I get spoiled by seeing something on the internet. This is probably going to be my next read. Now here's a curious one. This is The Lost Worlds of 2001 by Arthur C. Clarke. As I understand it, this is kind of a journal, of the development of 2001, talking about the history of his writing of the original short novel, and then going through the development process of creating the movie and writing the book in tandem with the movie. So now that I've read the entire series, I read 3001 recently, so this is kind of wrapping up that whole 2001 series. And also in the sci-fi vein, I have been reading through everything that Douglas Adams wrote. The last thing was The Semen of Doubt, and I was going to be reading the scripts for the radio series, but actually I was sent an advance copy of something called Douglas Adams, The Ends of the Earth, which is audiobook only. I usually don't do audiobooks, but this is only in audiobook format because it's basically a bunch of kind of interviews with people talking about their association with Douglas Adams, also archival audio of him on chat shows and various other things. There's also totally new interviews with people that knew him, like Griff Rhys-Jones, talking about their association with him and his thinking process. It's not so much a biography of him, but just kind of looking at various aspects of his philosophy and his writing and anything to do with Douglas Adams. And if you've ever listened to the original Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, you'll know that there's all sorts of special sound effects and processing. You kind of go on a journey when you're listening to one of those recordings, and this is kind of done in that same way. It's all presented by Arvind, Ethan, David, who worked on the Dirk Gently TV series and has done a whole bunch of stuff associated with Douglas Adams. I've started listening to this and I'm really enjoying it. And there's actually a link, I'll put it down in the description. You can get this. I've got a discount code down there if you want to buy it. And I'll also put a link, there is a sample on YouTube that you can listen to see what this is like. Last up, I'm going to be reading Five Go Down to the Sea by Enid Blyton. This is book number 12, and I do have this older copy. I'm hoping that this is a more modern translation. You know what I mean. This one has blazers and this one has jumpers. This one, everything's gay and queer, and this one, everything is happy and odd. And let's hope there's lashings of ginger beer in this one. So that's everything I plan to read in the next 3 months. May look quite eclectic, probably because it is. And that's what you get on my channel, eclecticism. Make sure to subscribe if you like this kind of difference in your booktube diet. Drop a comment down below. What are you reading in the next 3 months? Okay, have a great time reading, and I'll see you in the next video.